So again, there's because here is my sort of take on this again is that the reason why a lot of these inquiries end up being whitewashes is because they're not challenged at the time that they're ongoing. Now, what has been said by a number of victims and witnesses is, look, the culture in Jersey is still the same today as it was back in the 50s. The actual culture is still the same. Now, there's been a lot of key points, as you mentioned earlier, missed when these witnesses are being questioned by the panel or the panel's lawyers when they're giving live evidence, such as victims being still scared to speak out.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to go to the hearings and sit in them, which I'm hoping to do. If they run into next year, then I'm hoping, I want to sit in. So all I can do is go on to the Care Inquiry website and read the transcripts. Now, there's in some witness statements they talk about the media, not trusting the media. Also, the effect that the 2008 Liberation Day Balash speech had on them, and we also had the last week we had the big Savile scoop about the £50,000 payoff. Now, when you look at the transcripts, they're not getting asked why. Now, if someone says I don't trust the media and all that, you'd think surely that the panel would be going, well, why? Why didn't you trust the media? What effect? Why did the Balash speech in 2008? He was the bailiff at the time. The civic head of Jersey. Why? Why did it have such effect on you?
And of course, I think.
But if you don't ask those questions, how do you get the culture?
Well, that's right. I remember one witness giving evidence. I was there for it, and his transcripts are up on the Care Inquiry's website, where he said he gave a speech at a 2008 rally, anti-child abuse rally, and after he gave that speech, he was scared that he was going to get arrested. He was scared he was going to get in trouble. Now, I would have thought the ideal question to be, why in 2008 are you still scared of speaking out? But of course, that question wasn't even asked.
See, a lot of these questions aren't getting asked, and they're not getting the answers. And now this comes back to the tweets sent out from Stuart Sivray. And now, like them or loathe him, but before we start really, saying he was wrong, I think we all need to go and look at what he said, and then look at the transcripts, and then you form an opinion. Was he right or was he wrong? Okay, I jumped on it a little bit at first. I thought, Stuart Sivray again, but I thought, no, hang on a minute, I better just go and have a look, And then when I started looking, I thought, you know what, he's got a point here. As it comes back to the Committee of Inquiry chaired by Francis Oldham. This really does get to me. This is a £6 million budgeted inquiry. I'm beginning to think, and this is my own opinion, are they just playing at it? Because I'm getting this image in my head now of, like, a couple of times a month, Francis Oldham and two
panel
members come into town. She goes into hair and makeup. She comes out front. And the show starts. It's the mundane questioning, and then they all shoot off again. Oh, what's going on in between? Because how much time are they spending with the evidence, but they can't ask any decent questions when the victims come in? This is what, are they just playing at it? It's okay for the media to report, like our JP, BBC Jersey, and I think Bailiwick Express might do one or two bits. Now, it's okay to say, put a picture up of Hoke de la Garin and say, child abused, at night for 6 times. That's a headline. It's a grabbing headline. But don't be afraid to ask questions and criticise the inquiry as well, because by doing that, you will bring it on to somewhere better.
Well, the way I see it, it's a journalist's job to scrutinise and challenge these things. And, as it is, none of our state media are scrutinising or challenging this Committee of Inquiry in any way, shape or form, and this is how it's just allowed to go on. Why aren't they challenging? Surely a journalist's job is not to repeat everything, it's to actually...
Be brave like the victims coming forward. The bravest people involved in all of this is victims coming forward. Anybody who can come forward and give their evidence orally or to the panel, is brave. In my, I've seen what the damage has been done, and they are braver than brave. But the media has got to be brave as well. Be brave. Yes, you can criticise.
Well, I don't think it's a point of being brave. I think it's a case of doing your bloody job. You're a journalist. It's supposed to. It's bravery.
I'm calling it being brave, but because sometimes a hack might want to go, I want to say that, but he can only do what his editors is allowing him to do, and I think there has to be a collective decision amongst everybody, because this isn't an us against them. This is none of this. This is about the truth about child abuse, decades-long child abuse in Jersey, and it's about time that everyone just started going, you know what, let's start taking a good look at this, let's have a look at the transcripts, let's look at the questions getting answered, and is it really doing what we hoped it to do? We're not looking to bring down stuff and the governments and all that. That's, it's about the truth. Let's just find out what the truth is, but unless those real questions are asked, how do you find the truth?
Well, my point of thing is the local state media again are betraying the victims and letting them down by not asking these questions, the questions that we're asking and others are asking.
That's a fair comment, and the same could have been said to us because we haven't been reporting. We have always, if it wasn't for the bloggers and a lot of other people behind the scenes, this committee of inquiry would not be happening, and I'm 100% in saying that. We've been at this a long time. We have remained quiet since April. Yes, we've highlighted one or two little bits, but we remain quiet. And I just think now is the time to come out and say, look, this is how I see it. £6 million committee of inquiry, and at the moment I think they're serving up egg and chips. That's just my opinion on it. I know we talk about this a lot, and I think we're at a stage now where, yes, we all want this inquiry to succeed. Let's be under no illusions about this. We all want it to succeed. We all want the victims to come forward. The more evidence, the better. But let's also protect them as well and make sure that this inquiry is pushed in a good direction. And yes, there's no cross-examining of witnesses now. I don't know if that's what's causing the problem here. But the panel have also got to say, look, if we are really going to get to the bottom of this, and the culture is a big thing in Jersey, then the real questions must be asked. Do not be afraid to push a victim a little bit in questioning, because if they're in front of you, you can see how far you can go, how far you can't go. If they start breaking down, then you back off a little bit. You can stop the hearing. You chat to them. Are you okay to go on? Do you mind if we, because we feel we should go into this era. There's, come on, let's just get on with this. I'm not having it. Emails not getting replied to and all that. There's a lot going on. There's a lot more going on that I can't say on camera.
No, there will be a lot more coming out about this, but I suppose to finish on, our policy as Team Voice still remains the same. We want this committee of inquiry to be a success. We want the abuse victims and survivors to get their truth. We want the truth to come out, but in order to do that, we're having to challenge it.
And it must be challenged. We're lying to ourselves if we just think we can just sit back and let this committee of inquiry roll on to come to conclusion. We're lying to ourselves, because look at the fight we had to go through to get it.
Just to get it in the first place.
So, and some people have said to me, well, Rico, there's a lot at stake here. And there is a lot at stake, there's a lot, there's a lot of people who'd probably like to see this committee of inquiry, just be a very watered down affair. But, let's be honest and truthful here. Like, this is why I'm coming out today and saying this, let's be honest and truthful here. There is problems, and they need to be addressed, they need to be highlighted, and everybody needs to be pushed into a better direction, and then we might just get the truth at the end of this inquiry, which is what we all want.